Welcome everyone to this wonderful talk series by Team Levelers. Today we have architect Samruddhi Chaphale, the founder of Levelers. We will try to take out every piece of information from her so that at least we know what introduced her or what helped her start this wonderful foundation from the ground up. Hi ma'am, how are you?
Hi, Nidhi. So wonderful to meet you like this. We have had numerous conversations, but and to top it all, I am next to River Ganga right now. So was here for a site visit somewhere in the hills in Uttarakhand, and then traveling down to Haridwar. It's been beautiful over here, and what a great time to shoot this. So yeah, I'm head on with it. Let's get started.
That's great. Ma'am, how has this journey, so right now you're in Uttarakhand, how do you feel about the position you're in right now? Like whatever you've built up till now, the amount of expertise, the amount of experience you have gathered, what can you say in a nutshell about it?
In a nutshell. To start with, I think I'm feeling very blessed with the choices that I've made. I mean, when we talk in elaboration, I'll be detailing out more, but to be here and my work is has brought me here more than anything. So, it feels like a blessing that I'm living my life through whatever little I'm doing and the choices I'm making. And everything that is attached to my work has a sense of purpose, be it my commercial work or be it the foundation work that we do or anything in general. So that's why I just get very emotionally attached to the set that I'm in every time. So right now also, like, the energy, the water that is flowing, I mean, it's wonderful.
How can you relate to where you were during your graduation or your high school to where you are right now? Like, do you look back and say, okay, I've accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish?
Oh no, I am a firm believer that I'll be working till like the last breath of my life because that's the kind of person I am. Working in the sense because I enjoy my work. It's not a run of the mill situation for me. And to begin with, again, that way I see myself or my life as a reel, as if I'm into a motion graphics, a film, it's that I live my every moment like that. So my journey also has been dramatic in that sense because I've taken a lot of leaps and there has been lots of ups and downs.
Mhm.
But my focus and the drive to try new things and take those leaps has just helped me evolve. And it's a work in progress. There's a lot that I want to do, and I want to be. I mean, potential be here, and I have that confidence. So, karna hai. So, to begin with childhood, I was actually like me and my sister. My mother had enrolled us into roller skating. So, ideally, we were like for almost a decade or more, we were into sports. But that definitely laid a beautiful foundation for us for everything that we do in the course of our life. And yeah, as in school, I was in Sandipini School, which is Dr. Ditchkar, my friend runs a foundation as well, his school. And we had a wonderful nurturing over there because in our school, it was not a very set curriculum that we were taught into. We knew how to chant Bhagavad Gita, se leke Quran, se leke all sorts of, all the religions were celebrated, all the festivals were celebrated. So it was not a very just studious setup. So that's why I'm describing all of this, including, we had these green clubs in the school. So nature trails used to happen. So we were exposed to, as a childhood, I was exposed to like sports and art and we name it any field. Like I have tried and tested every kind of sport. I used to be in the choir group, say like Kathak, Bharatnatyam, you name it. Like no field is left unturned. And I think that really helped me channel and understand which direction I want to take. Because when you know these are the things, you try it out, then you know where your interest lies. And yeah, so after I had this opportunity to represent India also at the World Cup in roller skating. So that was an add-on exposure, and yeah, that was my first, you know, that was the first moment where I felt that I can really do something. Like even if I dream for, it is not unachievable. You can do it. So that was the first moment, and after that, starting off with architecture, like in between, obviously there was college. I picked up electronics, but this World Cup thing happened around 11, 12. So I don't really count my 11, 12 to be very, um, like I would, sports only went on, you can see, like major part of it. But yeah, after that, and I was academically good. So my parents wanted me to pursue something which is technically driven and has a solid degree. But then I was inclined, back then, like right now, sports has a lot of support. We in those days never had. So there was that little, family thing where, you make this choice whether or not. So it was a little difficult period, but the middle ground turned out to be, because I was inclined towards art and science, was architecture. So that's where my journey and how and it became sort of difficult to then align both, because sports, I was doing professional skating, so it needed a lot of practice and training. And architecture is also a very labor intensive course, sorry, because yeah, 5 years down to it, and to top it all, then NASA happened. And NASA also happened in a way that, oh god, like, I mean, these are all highs and lows. Like, I'm blessed ki aise opportunities aaye mujhe, because exposure बढ़ते गया. And during that time, I was also helping my friend Maitri with her foundation, Zero Gravity, who is doing wonderful. So that's where I got groomed to, and I got inclined that, okay, I like philanthropy, I like giving back to the society through whatever little I do. So these are like bits of my foundation, core foundation, that happened, and happy the way it has taken. And NASA, again, another feat, okay, like the women power that I want to mention it over here. So um, I mean, again, it was very terrific, but became the first women president. So it was a lot of responsibility to shoulder upon in a very small span of like 8 to 10 months that our tenure is for. So wonderful experience there, wonderful exposure, a lot of decision making capabilities sort of built during that period. And I can't really thank enough to NASA for imbibing those values into me, and I'm taking that forward.
Think nowadays it's so rare to hear people were into so much of sports during a time. At the end of the day, nowadays parents are like, you get a graduation done, you get a job, and you just live your life. We'll think of later. That's the kind of mentality we're coming up with nowadays with a lot of parents as well. And it's good to hear that, when there are parents who are imbibing, inculcating values of sports, the kind of competition, fair play, sportsman spirit, which I think it's come into your life as well. And you have handled it so well, because I've been to so many of your projects like Pablo, Baba, and even you forgot to mention Uncle Sam's drafting board. It was, I got introduced to you through that phase of
Yeah.
life. I would love to hear so many things about that, at least a gist of how you came up with the name, what it
Yeah.
played in your life, what role it played in your life.
Right. So yeah, I mean, after graduation, actually in the middle of graduation, I had a little bit of a tragic, rather the most regretful moment. I don't regret many things, most things in life, but this was one thing that happened, which was the demise of my father. And I happened to donate a part of my liver to him, and he did survive with us. But I mean, uh, it was a very difficult moment, and my thesis was during that period. So very challenging, but family was backing up, friends were backing up, and emotionally very drawn, but still managed to do a wonderful thesis that got selected at NIASA level as well. And then the journey was again, after this childhood, which I told you was full of achievements and this thing, that's a sports person life. I when I call myself an architect, you'll see I have a hashtag of skater architect, because I feel my lifestyle is like a sports person. All the ups and downs are a part of what you do today, and the sports person know how to deal with it. So my all the achievements, and then down the drain, it happened like that. And I didn't know where to start. This confident person who can speak in front of 6,000, 7,000 people straight up, at so many symposium, hosted SARC level conventions, all of that confidence had just gone out with that whole tragedy. And it was like that. So I had to pull up, and then I was physically also not very stable. So didn't know where to start. A junior just came to my place to after my thesis was done, to collect the book that I had collected from our college. By the way, Nidhi, you and me are from the same college, SMMCA, where our architecture foundation happened. And I must thank them also because they were very supportive. Even little rebellious during the my decision to stand for president, because college was a little worried, being a girl, how we'll manage. But I think then they stood by and they are very proud of what happened, because that's a history for our college as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so coming back to what I was mentioning was, I didn't know where to start. Despite of doing all this, despite of taking wonderful decisions with every this thing, uh, didn't know what to do basically. Masters करना है या क्या करना है. So decision making पूरा down हो गया था. But I just took it very instinctively, whatever path was aligned to me. While most of the my friends, I belong to the city of Nagpur, and generally it's a trend that people do go to bigger cities for further education or leave countries, and or yeah, travel for jobs. But I didn't know what to do, lost completely. But then मैं ऐसे relaxed भी हूँ, मतलब I don't take too much stress of I want a set pattern to the life. So I was just taking my time during that time, and I started my job again, without any set ki yahi karna hai. As I told you, a junior had come to pick a book that I picked up from our library to submit it back, because I was not in a walking condition, because of the operation of that liver surgery. So that's when she mentioned that, ma'am, I did this internship here, and why don't you try it? It was a wonderful experience. So I just joined the office. There also, this energetic woman that I am, I was completely, my journey actually started from there, where I got exposed to two, three people, because I had become so alienated with this whole tragedy that for me to talk to people was also a problem. Like इतना मैं confidence lose कर ली थी. धीरे धीरे build up किया, and after 1 year or so, I was also मतलब थोड़ा back on track आ गई थी. And then a friend approached for a project, a very close friend, family friend, and I was like, that was my spark. Like, you get that feeling. I've always been in that risk taking, or the challenging part, or the trickiest part. That is my what do you call it, uh, comfort zone नहीं बोलना चाहिए. Yeah, challenge is my comfort zone, you can say. Let's just put it that way. I like exciting things, new things. So this new chapter, sort of, I didn't know where this will lead. Will I be doing only one project? What am I going to do with this job? But I took that leap, and I made that project happen, which was the Bawa. It was a small cafe, Parsi cafe, but people still remember it today. And when I tell them it was my first project, they are completely awed by it. And then I did not have any name or anything of the my firm or anything. So since I don't have a family business in this profession, it was a completely new setup. And no, of course, I used to take guidance from the members that I have in my family and whoever little friends, but still you have to make your own choice. So the choice from whether should I continue taking a job, or should I continue what I'm doing, and then how do you build up that financial stability while so much has happened in the past, was very, very difficult. Will you get work because you don't have a name assigned to you? Generally in my city, this is a problem, that if you are from a certain family, or who has built up a name in that profession. But my profession, I'm the first architect in the family, so it was quite a difficult decision in this whole setup. But I'm a hard person. Like, my brain doesn't function straight up. It has to come through the heart. All the decisions I've taken like that. So I took that leap despite of all these maths of the situations that were there surrounding me. And I said, I want to do this. Job is something that I would not want to pursue. Nothing that I have against it. But I took, that leap because I wanted to learn on ground. I feel I'll be able to interact with people more, and that is the kind of exposure that I was not getting at the job, because you're more at the desk. I wanted more of experience in my life, like how you travel, you meet people, and you talk to people of different age groups, of different cultures, of different society, and they share those stories about their life. It inspires you so much, even if it's a person or at your side. I like to interact with them. I have that energy, I don't make it very exclusive. I will talk. So I like, I think you grow up as a person that way. So I took that leap, and there are these 2, 3 friends who really I discuss a lot with, and they helped me right from my initial logo. Then I did not know where I'm leading to. Then I, being a young, I don't like to use that word, but being a starting architect, you can say Uncle Sam's or something, because then I was also going through this feminism phase where why do you want to stereotype, if it's a girl architect or this architect, she or he or anything. I just wanted an image or a mimic of somebody who's there behind Uncle Sam's. It just sounded fun. And I wanted to start a blog with it actually and put up my works here and there. And our workshop, I like to teach and everything. So whatever little knowledge that I've gained or experience, so that's how Uncle Sam's happened. But when I finally got into my serious practice, so my practice now is entitled and registered at Sam's Drafting Board. So that's like another journey. Yeah.
This is for everyone who's listening. I met Samruddhi ma'am through one of her workshops. I wasn't really planning on visiting. It was just as part of the moment. And I'm so thankful that I visited because I had been to her projects. I had been to the Pablo Cafe in Nagpur, and I had never realized this was from one of my seniors. I always used to go and I was like, किसका दिमाग है ये? Who could even think in such a way? Because it was such a new concept for a city like Nagpur, where everything was supposed to be very cozy, small, cute, pastel colors. This industrial raw finish cafe, it actually attracted so many eyes. I still have so many friends who go back to Pablo. Like their safe spot is Pablo. Whatever happens, let's go to Pablo. And it feels
I'm
so
glad.
good. Your feminism phase also, I never knew about this, but thankfully I get to know about things through these interviews, and I'm so thankful. So up till now we discussed on Sam's drafting board and how your projects, even though very different, were very close to your heart. How about your socially relevant projects right now? I've heard you've started a few other projects which have a little bit of more social awareness and stuff that is not really in the eyes of a lot of people nowadays. It's for those crowd who are not commercialized. So how would you like to have your take on it?
Right. So when I started out also as my practice 7 years ago, it was always, as I told you, this whole story, backup story of how the sense of giving back was enforced from the foundation, right? From family to whatever events that happened in my life, be it sports or grooming in college and NASA and everything. Working with several other NGOs in the past, I had, it is a lifestyle. I can't choose to be this one person who is just being run of the mill. As I said, I choose to have this lifestyle. So whatever little I can do individually, I was doing, these events that happen around, be it, some kind of floods or happening here and there or helping out a friend was always my behavior. And then I thought that since I want to take my work also with that lifestyle, you know, really have good projects otherwise, but also have this hand. Generally, what happens is when why I'm saying all of this is not in the sense that I want to just mention it out, but when you start up, you are very taken, in that whole journey. कि नहीं बस मुझे कमाना है, that's the goal. Like, in the first 10 years, that is the only goal.
Mm.
Settle, settle, settle. For me, that settle word is not I like this unsettled plate and try and test waters. And even if I fail, it's okay. I want to do things parallelly. I don't decide upon कि हाँ मुझे 60 साल में ये करना है फिर जाके मैं ऐसा करूँगी हाँ अभी situation दिख रहा है so why not do it right away. So and I think that's these choices that you make. So this also means that I choose to not do a lot of things, even for that matter, commercial projects. So I made a lot of filters. What really picks my heart. That's the kind of work that I chose commercially, and even as pro bono or with less consideration for non-profits. So I started out very early in my first few years only. The NGO that I used to volunteer and member at earlier, उन्हीं को काफी projects में help किया. One very important project was this shelter home makeover that we did in Cartwell Road for Zero Gravity Foundation. Beautiful project. This was at Sam's Dropping Board as an architect. By then, I had not started out on any foundation because I was very nascent, and as I told you, it is a journey, a work in progress. So yeah, now why would the founder feel also like that, like whoever has approached me, like Maitri, because she knows that I have that sensitivity towards these kind of works. People don't give their time and attention to it. I want to do it. So that's where the journey started. As architecture projects also, I started delving into socially relevant ideas, and this excited me a lot. Then I've also designed something for Rise Animal Rescue Center. They haven't yet started with the project as of now, but this happened in COVID where they are, these dogs were stranded during COVID. They couldn't be fed with water because nobody was traveling on the roads, right? Everything was empty. Everybody were at home. So that's when this wonderful, and yeah, I must thank these kind of opportunities because I get to meet so many strong women. That's something more that inspires me to continue to do. So when these couple of organizations started approaching me for these projects, I realized our role, like how we were taught in college, our role is as society makers. We are
Yeah.
not like box makers that, okay, fit us in this box. That is not our job. So we have to spread our wings and opportunities will fall into place. And I realized that this is a purposeful task. So why should I limit it to myself? I rather bring in more socially aware people, more change makers who would want to add value through their work and through their expertise. And let's try this set out. And also, this was the personal reason why I wanted to take leap on starting our Levelers Foundation with a bunch of enthusiasts like you. But there was also this one complaint that I had with the system that we are having in architecture today, where a lot of promises are being made. I don't feel our community is as strong. It's a small community. Architecture is a small community if you compare it with other professions. But it is not very tightly knit. Everybody is in their own world, and I don't mean like I understand because when you compare with other professions, the stability that it provides, at least right now, the phase that we are in, a bunch of some fresh architects, some experienced architects, but a young group of people, it's very difficult to sustain in this profession if you want to do it very authentically, go by this routine traditional practice. And of course, that's a problem for a lot of people. People can't just manage everything. You need guts for that, and you need mental preparation that I'll take it the way it goes. So that's why people are not able to devote, not many people, there are wonderful people who are doing amazing work, but they are very handful in number.
Mm.
And I just want to be a part of that handful in number and take more people along with me, to be honest. So yeah, so that complaint was always there, especially in COVID. I saw so many other professions got together, individuals, who were supporting all that was happening around by providing. My sister also helped out with providing certain things, be it education materials to one of the organizations. That I saw so many other organizations who had different roles to play, but they came together to just provide anaj and to provide ration to people who couldn't buy during these because the shops were closed or whatever during, especially in this COVID times. Also, I have a couple of classmates who are so inspirational, like my friend Rohini. She worked with a lot of CM fellowships and was there during Kolhapur floods, right on ground, making rescue shelters and everything. So I was like, my God, this is something that I also want to do. I of course want to build this amazing projects that you mentioned, which make people happy and where people can enjoy their state of mind. But I also want to touch the basics, also add value that way. And yeah, that's how said, let's just, although we are not as resourceful, but had to take the decision someday. I said शुरुआत करते हैं बस, and along the way जैसी journey रहेगी, but कुछ ना कुछ इससे करके रहेंगे. So that's where Apna Levelers Shuru hua. It's a very young organization, just started out last year in September, and I hope we all together can do something with it and make our profession much more responsible and add value to so many people who are not inclusive, who are not felt or made inclusive, and of course, sustainability will be our approach. The aim is to make this a very ambulance-proof organization. I refer to some of the other allied professions. There are professions who provide foundations which provide legal support where law is very expensive. For people who cannot afford, like in the US or something like that. So that was my key inspiration behind starting this organization. Of architecture has also become such an exclusive profession these days.
Yeah.
Even a house has become a luxury. So how do you provide it for an ordinary person? So how do we come to that scale? With that will only come when we use creativity by applying DIY methods and the right approach. And I don't think architecture should be a barrier. It has become a barrier today. It was such a fluid field, and it was like music. And today it doesn't feel like that. Even when I do commercial projects, I feel there is so many like breakages. It has to be so fluid like music. Like should feel very transcending, very communicative, but it is not. And I feel this journey in Levelers will bring us closer to that sense and that belief and add more value to our life. I think we'll gain more, Nidhi, right, while working towards Levelers than to with the blessings that probably we'll be able to touch upon so many people and help make their lives better. So yeah, with this video, I also want to send in a quick this thing like we need support from the people who are watching this and anybody whoever wants to like join in Levelers, and we will share more details about it once the people show interest, because there are more people that we require so that we can carry forward more on ground activity, like currently this beautiful talk series which Nidhi is hosting. Apart from that, we are planning to do more research writing and do more on ground projects and help people. So if anybody is interested, please get in touch with us, and let's bring some change into our profession and add value.
Yes, this was a very good point from ma'am. I might have missed out. Listening to the way you mentioned how architecture should transcend into fluidity. I think the last time I heard that was in college, and I forgot it after that. I can relate so much working in a commercialized architectural field. I can understand the depth of how you want to say or what you want to say, because socially relevant topics are visible to everyone, but they don't. We fail to take steps to aid. We are sympathetic, not empathetic. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
so it's time that we change sympathy to empathy and actually do something. And I feel good that I'm with an association that's making such changes. And even though I'm in my growing years, I hope to be around the right people. So I remember one question. I genuinely want to ask this. I remember one time you had mentioned you want to see our perspectives on a statement, and the statement was red is green.
Oh yeah. Okay, this was an exercise in my workshop, right?
This is the last question I'm gonna bother you with.
Oh God,
But what
not prepared for this.
your take on red is green or green is red?
Right. Yeah, so my whole life, as you see, I don't have filters. I like this unsettling situation, right? So what excites me is the red is green.
Yeah.
Even my family keeps like bombarding me, like you don't go the straight, the right way. We'll tell you something and you'll do the opposite of it. So I think I've always been sailing in the unconventional boat. So if I like to fill in the gaps,
Okay.
break the barriers. So, wherever there is this necessity, wherever I feel people have not approached that problem, I want to be the solution. Or I wouldn't want to say not approach the problem, but very few have gone to that side. So if you run through the whole journey that I explained, from being into an unconventional sport where my mother put us in, back in those days when cricket was the most loved sport. It is still. I love cricket. I'm not saying that way, but our sports didn't had that much attention at all. Even today, athletes in our roller skaters are struggling. So to be in that for 15 years and to go in another school which was completely new, but we believed in its foundation. And yeah, so everything, like then being in NASA also was a completely instinctive. So I am all by heart, as I said, very instinctive journey, and I will live my life like this only. I cannot plan things. I mean, I will be a last moment planner for a few things, like, okay, small plans, but I can't plan the whole life. I feel these surprising channels just help you take even better decisions and make you even like explore a lot of more things, and you grow and evolve. And that's what life is. You can't have answers to everything right in the beginning, right? And in that journey of finding different answers, I think you learn. So for me, red is green would be something like that, where everything is intangible. I live in fantasy. That's again what my family and friends keep telling me. But then I also am able to convert that fantasy with all these little tasks that happen. So another thing that I believe a lot is in manifestation. I have this journal which I keep writing, and I actually dream. I don't limit my dreaming, even if it will feel impossible. I will do that. So red is green. The activity that I made you guys do was also about that. That even if you feel something that is impossible, that you can't do it, just jot it down. Like how why it was entitled red is green, because we are always told that the sky is blue in color or the trees are green in color, but no, trees can be red in color as well. It's your vocabulary, it's your vision. You have to make the user transcend through your imagination, and that's what architects as well do. We give experience to our designs, right? So in general, my thinking is also like that in day-to-day cycle. So I live in this imaginary or intangible world, and I think I've over the time I've developed this capability of able to to take others who are around me travel through that imagination as well, be it through conversations, be it through work, be it through purpose. Everything is in alignment. Then everything falls in alignment rather. So just believe in yourself and your imagination, and everybody just let's paint this world and make it more sustainable and happy and inclusive. That's the dream.
Would you like to add like a small message? I mean, I already got your message, but it's just like, is there something you want the viewers or the listeners to think of, or a small thought you want to leave in their heads?
Yeah, this could be a little fun one. So while I was doing this project Pablo, one quote that really resonates me and stayed with me, it's also on my website. It will forever remain, is that you know however I'm not able to get the right quote, but it always uh, all children are artists, but the problem is to remain an artist when you grow up. Yeah, yeah, exactly, the quote is that way. And I am a child by heart. Even in 60s, right now I'm in my 30s, but you will always find me this energetic because I have that child energy in me. Like I think like a child. I'm always amused by new ideas, and I think that keeps your mind very open, and acceptance level increases. You can accommodate all these things. Otherwise, you are just taken into the rut of your life, na? Ki bas yahi karna hai, yahan settle hona hai, that stereotypical thing. So if you want to live an unstereotypical life, non-stereotypical life, sorry. So I think you should remain a child forever. So that's the quote that I would want to share. And that genuinely is like my quote. You'll find it on my website as well. So, I mean, I take that quote of Pablo Picasso is very relevant to me.
It sounds very simple, but to adapt it in your life might be so difficult for some people at this stage because you have to unlearn so many things. You're already
Yeah,
at level जहाँ already तुम्हारे सामने इतने examples आ चुके हैं where it's more about how to settle down with sufficient money, retire early, give your children.
examples and people pressure. I think people take a lot of pressure with that also. That what will people think? We don't give importance to what we feel deeply inside and what we want to do. Arey, come on, today life expectancy bhi kitna kam ho gaya hai. So why do you want to plan that, okay, I'll do something in the 60s? Of course, balance your responsibilities. Nobody's saying to deny that. But I'm sure you can do it. I mean, it's nothing like, it's just that you need to put in the focuses in every place rightfully, not just focus on that run of the mill. Situation. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is for all of those people who wanted, a pinch of um, help in starting off on their own, believing in themselves. She should be a great and wonderful example to everyone. After everything she's been through, I have never seen such a positive woman in my life. If you do not look at the turbulences she's come through, no one would ever believe what made her who she is today. And I'm extremely proud to be a part of this foundation. And I cannot wish you anything but luck, success, and prosperity in everything you do, ma'am. This is heartfelt, genuine
Thank
uh,
you so
wishes
much.
to you. And I love doing talk series now. Thank you so much for introducing me to these as well. I would have never, I would have never had
I'm glad you are a part of this.
it so
It's
much.
an honor for us to have you here. I mean, definitely.
I cannot. But thank you so much. This has been so wonderful. I think everything that we covered today had glimpses of how your life was at particular stages, or if we can call them eras, because you have very good, milestones that you have crossed, and you're still going hard and strong-headed into everything that you ever want. So, what can a person do? They can only wish you good.
Thank you so much for your wishes.
So I
I'm glad I enjoyed it. It was so candid and so straight out of the heart, the way I like it. So glad this happened.
I hope this touches a lot of people as well, and I hope this
I hope
touches
so.
a lot of communities as well. Looking forth to hear a lot more on Levelers and the new projects that we are coming up on. Till then, we'll take a short break and we meet with hopefully another person as strong headed as you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye.